On October 27, 2025, City Manager Mortell again was spewing his deliberately misleading statements, gaslighting the audience, almost a year after he signed the check request to pay the contractor from the Community Development Block Grant Fund the taxpayers' money for work that wasn't performed and work that has to be redone on the federally funded program.
What really happened was there was a contractor that did some bad work at their house.
Bad work? FloridaCommerce wrote to the Hamiltons on November 26, 2024, that the city maintained that the work was done correctly and in accordance with all requirements.
And our CRA director within 2 weeks told them he was going to that she would have their windows replaced and their roof repaired.
The CRA Director and Guardian Community Resource Management were extorting from the Hamiltons the release of the CDBG funds to Patriot Response Group for
some bad work at their house,
mentioning the liens that the contractor would have a legal right to impose should just due payment not be rendered, and after to use the rest of the CDBG funds to fix the shoddy work on the replacement windows by signing a contract with a new contractor. On September 5, 2024, City Manager Mortell was coercing the Hamiltons to sign the contract voluntarily dissolution, stating that all parties acknowledge heretofore, and upon receipt of this dissolution notification, that the consideration provided and received by all is fair, just, and reasonable, and to release the taxpayers-funded CDBG funds to Patriot Response Group, including the full amount plus extra $2,500 for the incomplete roof. FloridaCommerce responded to the Hamiltons' complaint on September 11, 2024, requesting for additional information and documentation, including the Hamiltons' IDs showing their signature. On October 18, 2024, over a month later, FloridaCommerce wrote to the City CRA Director and Guardian Community Resource Management that completed work does not appear to be compliant with the site-specific environmental review conditions that were issued for the project, and costs incurred to date may not be eligible for reimbursement with federal funds. The Small Cities CDBG Program is requesting the city to pursue additional consultation with the State Historic Preservation Office. The Small Cities CDBG Program will not approve for this case file to be closed until we have confirmed that all federal requirements have been met, which may require additional work to be completed on the home. On November 5, 2024, City Manager Mortell wrote to the Hamiltons the city will continue to work with FloridaCommerce and complete the State Historic Preservation Officer investigation to verify that your home qualified for the funding, and there was no potential to affect the historic properties. And a month later, on December 12, 2024, City Manager Mortell wrote to the Hamiltons, "There is no dispute that you are qualified for a grant." On November 22, 2024, the Hamilton learned that the city had the state letter with the guidelines on their historical church rehabilitation since December 1, 2023, before the work started on May 22, 2024. Even after the Hamiltons notified the City of Stuart CDBG Project Management that Patriot Response Group inflicted damages to the historical building, neither CRA Director nor Guardian CRM disclosed the December 2023 letter to the Hamiltons.
It doesn't matter. Hamiltons are correct. The windows were incorrect. There's a program called SHPO, SHPO, which is the State Historic Preservation Office. The contractor says, look, we didn't know that he had a historic preservation restriction.
Why not? The subgrant agreement between the city and FloridaCommerce states the city shall comply with the historic preservation requirements of the National Historic Preservation Act and the Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation, codified at 36 CFR 67, and guidelines for rehabilitating historic buildings. But on December 10, 2024, CRA Director Ms. Gandhi Savdas, who is also the CDBG Project Manager on the city's behalf, stated to the Hamiltons, "It is not required to provide the building department with the State Historic Preservation Office letter," and added Guardian is managing the project, so they are responsible that the contractor's scope of work is in accordance with the conditions of approval by the State Historic Preservation Office or any other agencies.
There is damage done to the home. Where your program works is that if we can't resolve it in the field, it does come back to the city. That is just the way the program is set up.
Do we exercise any supervisory control over the contractors?
Zero.
Mr. Mortell was the city attorney when the city signed the subgrant agreement with FloridaCommerce, former DEO. The recipient, the city, shall monitor its performance under this agreement, including the performance of any consultants who are paid from funds provided under this agreement. The city must maintain oversight to ensure that contractors perform in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications of their contracts or purchase orders. Federally funded programs are matters of public concern. Visit the Hamilton's website aroundabout.us for more information, documents, and correspondence. Follow the Hamilton CDBG Project, Stuart, Florida Facebook page for updates.